Working for Disney, Part 3. What I forgot to cover in 1 and 2, I started at Disney in 1971. Worked there for about a year. We were in Glendale, and near the studio. I worked for Retlaw, which was Walter spelled backwards. I basically would take care of the family. I would take things to them, take them to the airport, uh, whatever had to be done as far as the grandkids or Walt's widow, I did. I also would take things over to the studio, take things down to Disneyland. Um, One day I had to take something over to Ron Miller. I had no idea what he looked like. He was Walt's son-in-law. Was married to the older daughter, Diane. And so I'm walking along the second floor corridor and looking at every photo still of every movie there is. And oh gosh, I must have been standing there for 15 minutes with this tall, 6'6". I could feel, behind me was looking at me. And I turned around and he put out his hand. He said, "I'm Ron Miller. I'm the person you're supposed to see." And he said, many an hour I would stand there and look at all these pictures. He says, when I was a messenger for the studio when I first started here, and Walt would catch me. This was a great time, and he would tell me stories about some of these movies. He said it was just great. We went into his office, and he offered me a Coca-Cola and something to eat, and started asking me questions about myself. I told him I was in junior college taking a creative writing class, and he goes, "Well, what are you doing right now?" And I told him I always had to take this. I had to get a hold of a script and review it. And so he reaches into his drawer and hands me a copy of the Shaggy Dog, and he says, "Well, will this help?" Of course it did. And after that, we just talked about family, and gosh, I must have been there for over an hour. He called my boss in the meantime, and he asked me what my favorite movie was, and I said, "Well, Fantasia, of course, but only the family can get that." Well, he picked up the phone and told them to leave it there with a projector at the gate for me to take home. And shook my hand and said it was nice meeting me. And when I got back, my boss had said, "Boy, he must have really liked you because you were there for an hour and you also got Fantasia. That doesn't go out to too many people." Working with Disney.